Hey everybody, welcome to my live. How's everybody doing tonight on this Tuesday evening? Today is August 16th, 2022, and we're gonna have some fun making some cards tonight. So thank you for joining me, whether you're watching me live on the replay or on the YouTube video. Thank you for joining me. Say hi, let me know you're here. Say hello in the comments. We're gonna get started in just a minute. I just gotta take care of my business and make sure that I'm coming up live. Okay, and it looks like I'm there. Give it another second. I hope everyone's doing well this week. These weeks are going by fast, right? I can't believe it's Tuesday again already. I don't know where the weekend went. It was super quick. Okay, I think we're about ready to get started. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn my camera down and start showing you some things. All right. All right, so let me get my camera in position here. I think that looks pretty good. Pardon my fingers. So I just tighten this up a little bit so it doesn't move. Okay, so the first thing I want to show you guys is I have a fun new little thing. I'm going to offer a card class, and what I'm planning to do with this is sell this card class in advance, and then when I do my live, you can craft along with me. So we're going to be using the Hues of Happiness, and let me show you the projects that we're going to make. So I've got some really pretty floral cards. This is one of them. Here's another really pretty floral card. This is a really fun set to work with. I love the colors. I love the flowers. Card number 3. So we'll be making 3 cards, and then I have a fun little treat bag that we'll make as well. So here's how this works. The kit that I would send you includes pre-cut cardstock to make the cards and the treat bag, and it also includes over $15 worth of Stampin' Up product. And the price also includes shipping and tax. So you would order your kit by August 31st. I'll ship them by the 12th of September, and then we'll do the Facebook Live on the 20th of September. So in addition to what I'm sending you, you would also need the Happiness Abounds bundle. And let me just show you what that looks like. That is the stamps right here. And I gotta tell you, this bundle is worth it just for the sentiments. They're so pretty with the font. And it has a variety of a thank you, congratulations, friend, happy birthday. It just has pretty much everything you would need in a sentiment. And then it has the matching die set too if you order the bundle. And you can order that through my Stampin' Up website. And you can just, if you'd like to order this card class, just email me at sunshineandsparklesstamping@gmail.com, and I'll send you an invoice from Square. So you'll just get an email. The invoice looks like this. I sent myself one just so you could see. There's a button on it that just says pay invoice. I think there it says pay invoice. And then it next takes you to the next page, and you can pay by credit card, and it's kind of like PayPal. So it's very easy to do. Okay, so email me if you would like to do that. I'll put the links for my email and the card kit, everything in the links on my Facebook page, my business page, and also on the YouTube page in the comments. Okay, I'm going to adjust this just one more time because I feel like it's a little bit too low. Okay, so today's cards are going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be working off a set in the annual catalog. And this is the Cheerful Basket bundle that we're working with today. Let me move it up so you can see it a little better. And lots of fun stamps. This is kind of, I think it's a fall set because you have the apples, the basket, the kind of like school or craft supplies. Here's the opposite page. You can see a couple of cards made in the Stampin' Up catalog. So that's lots of fun. So here are our projects for this evening. I have this cute little apple card with a little kitty cat. We have kind of a back to school autumn wishes card. We're using it also to make You Fill My Day with Happiness with the hearts that also come with the stamp set. And then I brought in another bundle to make a little bit of a nice fall card. And I'm going to show you several different ways to make the basket tonight. It's going to be a lot of coloring and a lot of die cutting, but I think it's going to be fun. So let's get started. Up close, here's the Cheerful Basket bundle. You can see the different stamps that it comes with, and it comes with some sentiments, and then lots of dies that go with this set. And we'll be using some of those, most of them, this evening. In addition, I'm bringing in the Hello Harvest stamp set, and we'll use this on the last card. We're going to use these flowers, but also on the first card, I used it for this hello because I thought that was just a really pretty, a fun thing to put onto the card. Okay. So here are the pieces for our first card. I'm losing my voice a little bit tonight, so bear with me. I'm a little squeaky, but I think that's okay. All right, so only starting with our card base. We've got Granny Apple Green that we're starting with tonight, and this is the usual 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. Our card is going to orient this way this evening. So I'm using a DSP set that's super fun. And this DSP set, I think I showed it before. This is the Celebrate Everything Designer Series paper. It's quite a large set of paper, and it has all kinds of fun designs in it for all seasons. There's ornaments for Christmas, fireworks you can color in for 4th of July. It just covers a variety of seasons along with some really fun patterns, some rainbows. So we're going to use several patterns from this set today. Okay. So I did cut this piece of this Celebrate Everything DSP, and this is kind of the colorful fall leaves. I like it because it's nice and bright, and the colors we're going to use, because everything coordinates with Stampin' Up. You can see the Granny Apple Green in the leaves. That coordinates nicely. So we're going to take our first piece, and this is 5 1/4 by 2 1/4, and I'm just going to go ahead and adhere that to the top of the card to start with. And I'm using my Stampin' Seal. And we'll just center that right at the top of the card like that. So for the next piece, I have a piece of shaded spruce cardstock. It's 5 1/4 by 2 inches, and I thought it would be fun to emboss it. So I have the Timber embossing folder, which you can see is a really nice, fun wood grain embossing folder. So I'm going to bring over my big cut and emboss machine and show you how I run this through. I hope you can see that in the thing. So I'm just going to put, open up my folder, and I'm just going to put, I can really put it anywhere. I want the wood grain to go lengthwise. So I'm just going to put my piece of cardstock in there, and I'm going to put it in between these two plates with the, what do you call it, the folded side going through first. And then I'm just going to run it through nice and easily, and it comes through nicely. You can hear it clicking, and let's see how it came out. Okay, and that came out good. I think it's really pretty. Can you see that pretty wood green that it put on there? I think it looks good. All right. All right, so we'll put this on the bottom. And it looks like before I did that, I'm going to tie some of the linen thread around it. So yeah, you could do this either before or after you glue it on. I'm going to try doing it before. It's a little bit floppy, but I'm just going to wrap some linen thread around about 2 or 3 times. And then I'm just going to tie a bow on it, kind of off to the side. And let me, kind of messy, which is good. I wanted it to be a little bit of a messy bow, and the strings. So I think that looks good. Then I'm just going to put some adhesive on the back and adhere it to the bottom part of our card. You can see the other side came through, and that's debossed on this side. All right, so I'm going to line this up so it's even. We have a nice even border. And there we have the base of the front of our card. Next, we're going to do some stamping and some coloring. So I'm going to go ahead and take from my stamp set my basket die, and we're going to stamp this in Memento because we're going to color it. So So I'm going to ink that up. And see how that came out good. The other part we're going to do is we're going to do the apples. So here's the stamp for that. And these are two separate dies, so I'm not going to put it like right close to where it's going to go. I'll put it a little bit at the top. We're also going to stamp the cute little kitty cat. We're going to have a lot to color, right? So I'll put the cat right there. And then the last thing is the cute little butterfly. So we'll go ahead and we'll stamp that up there too. All right, now we're ready to start coloring. So when I was looking for colors to do the basket in, I kind of took all the colors that I had that were kind of brown to see which ones I liked the best. So I just kind of put them on my piece of paper, and all of these colors right here are for the Naturals collection from Stampin' Up, and I think those came out sometime within the past year. My favorites, Bronze and Ivory, and then some of the others that I have, Soft Suede and Crumb Cake. And what I really decided I liked best was kind of the warmer tones, so I picked the 200 and the 500 to go ahead and color the basket. So just a light brown and a dark brown. You could use any light brown, dark brown, any color really that you wanted. So this is the 200, and let me find my lighter color, which is the 500. So I'm going to use the brush tip for both of them. And I like to always do my lights first. You can do it in any order that you like. And the handle isn't really going to show because we're going to put something over it, so I'm not going to worry too much about the handle. I do need to try and stay in the lines though, and I'm just going to work in small sections, and then you can kind of see where they have some shading. I'm just going to add a little brown there and to kind of the corners and the edges. Then I'm going to go back with my light to kind of blend that in. And it doesn't have to be perfect. You can do it any way you want. We kind of want it to look rustic, right? And I'm going to go on to the next section. And I'm going to do my cross pieces first, just because it's easier for me to do it that way. And same thing here. And just kind of blend it. And so it looks a little bit uneven and worn. And then we'll do the bottom part. Who likes to color? It's fun to color, right? And I got to tell you, these markers from Stampin' Up are so great because they blend so easily. You don't end up with the marker lines. Everything just blends in really nicely. So I absolutely love these markers. They're super fun to play with. And we're going to do a lot of coloring this evening. Now I'm going to go ahead and do my cross pieces, right? And because I've already colored the top and the bottom, I don't have to be super neat with this and really stay in the lines too much except on the edge. And then I'll put my dark pieces kind of this way, kind of on the same places where they have their dark. And then I'm going to blend those in. I hope you can see without my fingers in the way as I'm going across. And I'm just kind of doing it fast and messy. I always color so much faster on camera, and I'm very messy on camera. I take my time a little bit more when I'm not doing a live and do a little bit better of a job. But I think the blending's looking pretty good. And this is what our basket's going to end up looking like. I think that looks pretty good. You can kind of see the different shading. I think I'm happy with that, so I'm going to stop right there. Okay, so then I decided for the apples, I wanted to do those in real red. So I'm going to get my light and my dark real red and do the same thing that I did before, kind of start with my light first, and then kind of shade the edges and the part where they have it in the darker color. So let's start with the light. This is the light, right? Oh, this is the dark. I didn't want to start with that. That's okay. I'll just put this half of the apple light. They're all red, so again, aside from the leaves, you don't have to be too careful about the lines. And just coloring up to the bottom. All right, and we'll just add a little bit of the darker. I've used a lot of different kinds of markers from different craft companies, and these are my favorite, hands down. And of course, I love the way they coordinate with all the other colors that we have of the cardstock and everything else, so I couldn't be happier with these markers. All right, we'll add some more dark accents, and I think we're going to be done with the apples. And then we'll just color the leaves up a little bit with the green. I'm going to use the same Granny Apple green that we used for the card base. Let me see if I can put these on the right ones. Lots of markers tonight. If you don't have these markers, just use what you have. I'm sure they'll work fine. Okay, I think our apples are finished now. Okay, I'm gonna do the kitty cat. I'm gonna do the kitty cat in pumpkin pie. So I've got the light and the dark pumpkin pie, kind of an orangey cat. Now you can make your cat any color that you like. I don't have much experience with colors of cats because I don't have a cat. All right, let me make sure this is the light one. And then we'll just add some dark accents, again, kind of in the same places they have them, and blend them in. I did pre-color a black and white one, so I'll show you that one in a minute so you can see. Or you could do like brown or any color that you really want to make your cat. I thought that cat is really cute. Look at the face on that cat. It's just adorable. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Let's get the face now. I'm going to save the inside of the ears and just add a little bit of pink. And I think I'll use the polished pink for that. And I think our kitty's looking pretty cute. And let me just add a little bit right there. Can you see how nicely these blend? Okay, let me seal that up. And then what color did I do the butterfly? I think last time I changed it up a little. First I did it in orange. Oh no, I did switch it out. So as long as I've got the pumpkin pie, let me do the butterfly outside in the light pumpkin pie. Wasn't sure what color I wanted you to do the butterfly in. Okay, and I'm going to go back with the light Granny Apple just for the inside of the butterfly, and then we're done with the butterfly. And like I said, the polished pink, I'm going to go the light and just do the little inside of the ears of the kitty, little pink like that. And I think that looks pretty good. I think we're done with the coloring. Let me also show you, this is one that I did earlier, and this is a little kind of gray and white cat, so you could use that one too if you prefer, or make your kitty any color that you want. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and do some die cutting. I'm gonna bring my little one in because I think it's easier to show on the camera what we're doing. So I've got a couple of plates here. I'm gonna actually take a pair of scissors and cut these out so they're easier to die cut. And I'm gonna use the basket die to cut out the basket. And let me get out some of my Post-it tape. And we'll just hold that in place with the Post-it tape and run this through, and it cuts it perfectly. So easy. Okay, you can see we have our basket cut out, and then we're gonna, so that came out pretty good. Let's cut out a couple other things. We're gonna cut out our apples next. So let me get my plates and set. Now I could use the bigger one too and do everything at once, and if I use my magnetic plate, then I don't have to use the Post-it tape. But I feel like this little one works a little bit better on camera because, make sure I have the right one, because the other one's just so high, I think it's kind of hard to see on the camera. So I'm just going to get this little apple in place, and we'll run this one through. I've got so many markers tonight, they're all stuck up under my machine. Okay, now we've cut out our apples. See how that came out? That's going to look really cute in our basket of apples. And then the other things we want to cut out are our butterfly and the little cat. And then we'll be done and ready to assemble the rest of this card. So it takes a little bit longer to make the cards that have a lot of coloring in them. I don't usually do a ton of cards with coloring, but I thought this was a really cute set and really colorful, and I thought it'd be fun, kind of with fall and the start of school. So, all right, last one. Whoops. This way. I kind of taped it to the wrong plate. Pardon my hands. Okay. Now, if you don't have the dies, you can also just cut these out with a pair of scissors, which, hold on 1 second. Let me get this lined up a little bit better. They're easy shapes to cut out, so you could definitely do that. Let me try running it through this way. Hold on. Technical difficulties. Hold on 1 second, please. My plates are getting a little warped because I use them all the time. Hold on. Oh, finally. Okay. And I think we have all the pieces to our cards. Some of these for the next cards I've already pre-cut, so you don't have to go through the pain of watching me die cut all these pieces tonight. All right, there's our butterfly, and we're ready to assemble. Put that aside, clean up my workspace. Okay, so what we're gonna do then is we are gonna pop up the basket with some dimensionals. Just like this. Whoops. Okay. And we'll put our basket kind of right in the middle, right like that. And we're going to put our cat next to. Should we use the black and white, or should we use the pumpkin pie cat? Let's try the black and white, since I already have a card with the pumpkin one. I think maybe I should have put the basket a little bit more towards the middle. So let me see if I can lift this up and just move it over just a tad to make sure we have enough room for the cat. Okay. And we'll put our little kitty right there. I don't know, which one do you think you like better, the pumpkin pie one or the gray and white one? All right, this is getting popped up also. These are apples that we've done. And we'll put these right behind in our basket. Now, another fun die that they have with this is the little scarf. So we cut out scarves for all the baskets tonight. And this one I cut out of just some plaid paper. So this is our set that is our, it's our DSP. This is from the Regals collection. So this is the So Saffron. And I just cut it from there, and it's just a cute little die. I'm gonna take some seal and put this on just the front of our basket like that, and that covers up the handle. Remember I said we didn't really need to worry about the handle too much. And one of the dies I used some silver cardstock is for this cute little handle, and I cut out one of these for each of the cards tonight because I just think it just makes a really nice accent to have the silver handle on there. So I'm going to take my glue stick, my glue pen, and add a little adhesive to the back of this silver handle. And we'll just put this across right here. It's a pretty nice, it's a pretty and nice little detail, I think, for our basket. So I'm just going to hold that down for a second so it sticks. Now, I have a little banner die that I cut out of basic white, and we're going to use that hello stamp that I was telling about, showing to you earlier. And I'm going to stamp that in real red to match our apples. So I'm just going to ink that up and see if I can get it right in the center of here. There we go. And we'll pop that up in the corner. Anybody starting to have good, cool fall weather for the start of school, or is it still hot everywhere? I know it's still hot here in Texas. And school, some of the schools have started here. I know the high school down the street from me doesn't start till next week, so next Monday is when that school starts. Okay, let me see if I have another butterfly. I'm going to take this little butterfly and just pop it up. I'm going to use a mini dimensional because this is a really little butterfly. So let me grab a mini dimensional and we'll put our cute little butterfly on. And then the last thing we have to do, I think that's it, is put a couple of leaves on. So I also cut out these little leaves. I cut one out in Granny Apple Green and So Saffron to match. And we'll just use the glue pen for that as well. And we'll just put those kind of at the bottom of the card. And then we're going to be finished with this card. Just kind of like that. All right. So that's it for the first card. What do y'all think? Do you like this one? Which cat do you like better? I do have a pink butterfly over here too. Which butterfly is better? I think that's just a fun little fall card. That's our first card. Okay, so the next card is going to be very similar with the basket. Okay, this one is Autumn Wishes, and I thought this was cute because it has kind of, I don't know if these are school supplies or craft supplies, but I decided to do kind of a Blackboard background. Do they still have blackboards in schools? I should ask Nicole, she's a teacher. Do they still have any blackboards in schools, or is that just a thing of the past? I'm not sure. So what I used to cut that out is the Fabulous Frames dies, and it has this great rectangular frame, and I thought that would be great to frame our blackboard in. So I used that to cut out the blackboard. And this Found of Autumn suite, this is really pretty, another autumn suite that we're going to be making more cards with this year. I thought Autumn Wishes was a really nice sentiment, so that's what we're going to go with for this card. Here are our pieces. Okay, so I've already pre-cut everything. This time we're going to start with the real red cardstock base, same dimension as the one we just did. That same DSP with the plaid, this time in real red, and we're going to adhere this to our card with some seal. And I think that makes a nice, fun, kind of schoolish. I don't know why plaid reminds me of school, but it does. Okay, now we're ready for our blackboard. So I thought it'd be fun to emboss the greeting on the blackboard so it kind of looks like you wrote it on with chalk, right? And I thought that the greeting looked perfect for that. So let me find it really quickly. And let me see if I pulled that one. I usually pull them all ahead of time. And I did not, so here it is right here. So I'm just going to mount that on a block, make sure it's nice and straight, and just pick it up. Okay, that looks good. So I'm going to use Versamark for this since we're going to use some embossing powder and emboss it. So I'm going to take my Versamark pad and we're going to put it kind of off to the side right here I want to leave enough room for my frame, so I don't want it too close to the edge. And I'm going to stamp it like that. Then I'm going to take some white embossing powder and just sprinkle it on. And that looks pretty good. Let me just get this a little bit more right there. Okay. We're going to use our heat embossing gun, our tool, to go ahead and heat emboss that. Get a little closer so you can see when it turns. Okay, and that's that. That is all set and done. Okay, so I'm going to take a little bit of seal to the frame I cut out of that frame die that I showed you. I cut out of crumb cake. So I'm just going to take a little seal and go around the edges with my adhesive. Seal is super sticky, which is great. And then they have Seal Plus, which I also like, which is even stronger. I don't use Seal Plus that often unless I'm like making boxes or things of that nature. Okay, I'm actually going to flip this over and center my black on the back of it this way. Okay, that looks pretty good. And we're ready to just go ahead and adhere this to the card. So let me add some more seal to the black part of this. And now we've got the background for our card. Okay, so back to stamping. We're just going to take our piece of basic white and do our stamping again. I'm not going to redo the basket. Excuse me. Since we just did one just like it, so it's the same exact thing that we just did. Same colors. Die cut the basket out, so we have a basket ready to go. This time though, we're going to use this other fun stamp that has these kind of school/craft supplies. And then we're going to go ahead and color those in and cut those out. All right, so we'll just stamp those. You can see what that looks like. So use any colors that you like for this. I kind of went with, I don't know, I like things to look a little bit realistic. So this one I took the Smoky Slate, which is a very light gray, which almost looks like silver. So I did my scissors in that and just colored them that way. I also did like these little things on the pen because I figured, oh, those would be kind of metal, the little pencil metal part. And then this looks like a calculator to me, so I kind of went on the edges of it like that with the silver. And goes through all the way to this side like that. And I'll just drag that down and then just some across the bottom of it right like that. Okay, I did the ribbon and the pumpkin pie that we just used. Whoops, I don't like that side. Let me try the other side. Am I high enough on the camera that you guys can see me coloring, hopefully? So I don't know if this is supposed to be ribbon or tape measure. It looks like ribbon to me. So we'll just make that a little bit orange. And then I'm going to do one of these little paint bottles in orange. I'm going to do another paint bottle in the polished pink that we used before. So we'll have a little pink and a little bit of orange paint. And then our pencil eraser tip I want to do in the pink. And then I used the So Saffron Yellow to do the pencil. And this, I think it's paper back here. It looks like some kind of paper or material. Maybe if you're a sewer, it could be material. And I just colored that in with the yellow. And then lastly, I just took a little bit of blue for the pens. Oh, and also, let me grab, so this is my light balmy blue, and I'm just gonna color the pens in that color. Okay, and then I have the light basic black blend just to do the screen on the calculator. And that's going to be it for the coloring for this. It's very cute, isn't it? Kind of a fun little crafty thing to put in the basket. Whoops, I went on the line just a little bit on that. Let me see if I can take my color lifter and just lift this little bit right here. See if that helps. Okay, then we would go ahead and take the die for that. And then you can see how it fits right along the edge right there, and run it through the die cutting machine. Okay, and I've already done that, so you don't have to watch me do that again. And this is how it comes out once you die cut it. So we're all good like that. So we have those pieces ready to go. All right, so let's start assembling again. We're going to take that same basket that we cut out and use our dimensionals and pop that up. Okay, and we'll put this right about here, maybe a little bit lower so we have room for the stuff to come out the top. And then we can use a couple of dimensionals. And put the things in our little bushel basket. Just like that. Okay, so let me get the dies out again because I want to show you just some of the dies we used. So this was for the silver handle that we used, right? And then this little die used to cut out the scarves, right? And so here's another little scarf that's going to go on the edge, and you can see it's got embossing too. And I used that same plaid that we used on the card background. And then these little apples are cute. So I cut some apples just out of real red, and let me show you these. And look at, they even have a little bit of embossing on the side. So they just really cute little apples that we're going to use. So I wanted to show you those dies. Okay, so let's take the scarf that I just lost. Oh, here it is. Okay. And put this on the edge of our basket, just like that. Okay, and then we're going to take our silver handle, just like before, and add a little bit of adhesive to it. Nice and easy. And put that across. Hold that down for a second so it adheres. Then I took some more of the linen thread, and this time I didn't go around anything. I just tied a bow, and I did a double bow. So let me just cut off a piece of this. So I just took it and doubled it and then tied a bow with it. Hold on, gotta get that one little piece. It's hard to tie bows with nails, right? Anybody else have that problem? Okay, start over, do over. Let's try that again. Okay. And I'm gonna snip the one side and make it a little bit tighter. And I don't want it too big, and I'll make it nice and tight. Snip off the other ends, kind of separate it a little bit, and we're gonna put this on with a glue dot. Separate it a little bit there, looks good. All my stuff's coming apart. Get a better glue dot, that one's kind of a double. And we'll put that right on the side right there of our basket. That's cute, right? Isn't that cute? Okay, let's put on our apples, and I'm going to pop those up with some mini dimensionals. You could add as many apples as you like. You could do a pile of apples right at the bottom there. I just chose to do 2. And I'm just going to put one there and use another mini glue dot to put another apple down here. This would make a cute little card for a teacher right on the first day of school. And then this little die is really tiny. I cut these out of the Granny Apple Green, and it's just a little leaf and a stem. So I'm just going to add some adhesive to that. And we'll just put these at the top of our apples, like that. Okay, that is our second card finished. Cute little fall card. I hope y'all like it. Okay, card number 3. Now this one, I wanted to use the hearts because I thought, well, this is a really versatile set, and the hearts are really cute too. So this time we're using the hearts. The other thing we did is the basket also has basket dies, right? So, and they have like a little wood grain embossing. So what I've done with that is I just cut them out of the crumb cake. So let me get the pieces out for our next card, okay? And let me get the crumb cake, and I'll show you how we did that. So when you use this die, it cuts out this piece right here from that die like that, and then this piece, even though it looks like one piece, cuts out 3 strips. You see the 3 strips here for the basket. So when we assemble our basket, we're just going to take some glue and adhere these strips across, okay? So obviously the the long one goes at the top. Let me move this up so you can see it. It's sticky on the other side. All right, give me a second to get this started. Uh-oh, hold on. I may need a pin. Let me give it one more shot. Otherwise, I've got to get a little pin out to get this started. Okay. So we'll take the top strip and we'll glue it across the top, like right up here. Make sure that's even. So this is just another way that you can do the bushel basket. And we'll take the middle one and put it right in the middle and glue it right about there. And then we have the bottom one. I'm getting my workstation all sticky. And I just cleaned it off. I had to gook on it before I Windexed it to get all the glue off of it. So that's another way that you can do the bushel basket. And I think that looks really nice. It's got the embossing. You could do it in any color that you wanted. I did one where I took a little sponge dauber with the crumb cake ink, and I just did a little bit of inking around the edges of it, and you can see how that makes it look a little bit weathered. So that's another way that you could do it if you wanted it to look a little bit weathered and not just so clean cut from the die cut. So that's another way to do the basket. All right, so the card that we're going to do. We're starting with the polished pink cardstock, and this time I cut it a little bit different. I cut it 8.5 by 4 1/4, and then I scored it at 5.5. So this card's going to open like this. That same DSP that I showed you. This is our 5 1/4 by 4 from the Celebrate Everything DSP, and this is just a red and pink stripe. Fun other side too, right? So we will just adhere this to our card and leave ourselves a nice little border around the edges. Then in the polished pink again, I did our next layer, and I used, my favorite dies. I love the scallop die set, right? And I just cut out the polished pink with the die, and that's going to be our next layer right there. Okay, So I'm going to bring back in a piece of white, and we're going to stamp our hearts this time in the same memento. And we're going to color the hearts. And this time I'm using the polished pink and the real red, which is the same exact colors that we have in the stripes of the paper. So let me get those out. We'll start and we'll do the red ones first. I told you guys this is a lot of coloring this week, right? So I wanted to do red and pink and white hearts. First I did all red and pink and it was too much. So then I redid it and added some white hearts, and I think it lined it up and made it look a little bit better. So these are, I'm just gonna do some random red ones and then some pink ones and leave some of them white. So let me just do, I'm starting with the light and coloring that in first. And then we'll do a little bit shading with the darker. And then we'll just blend it a little bit. Okay, that's it for the red. So the red hearts are finished. Let's go ahead and use the pink, and we'll start with the light. And again, it's nice that they coordinate, so we've got the same color in the hearts that we have on the papers. And I think that makes it look really nice. And we're doing 4 hearts with the pink. And again, I'm going really fast and not really coloring in the line, so please forgive my messy coloring. But I don't want to spend too long on this when I'm on camera. All right, and we'll blend those out. And then our hearts are finished. Okay. All right, so again, we would want to die cut these, send these through the die cut machine. And let's see, this would be the die for this one. So you can see how that's perfectly going to cut out our hearts. And once again, I've already cut them out, so you don't have to watch me die cut. And we'll use those for our card. Okay, so I'm just noticing when I first did this card, I took a little piece of crumb cake and put it on the back so the pink doesn't show through our basket like that, but I guess it doesn't really matter. I guess you can show the pink through. I do have a piece of crumb cake here, so I think, I don't know, is it better with, because really baskets do have slats and there could be pink hearts inside, or is it better without? I think I will just cut a little square and just put it as a backing behind the slats of the basket. I kind of forgot that I had done that until I just looked at it right now. So let me just kind of cut around the edges here. And bring it down just a little bit. I'll trim it afterwards. Okay, so I'm just going to actually use a little bit of seal on the back of this to adhere it to the back. But nobody's going to see this side, so it doesn't really matter. I just want to make sure I'm covering up the holes, and I'm just going to trim this part out just a little bit. And all fixed. That looks good. All right, let's get some dimensionals out and start putting this together. It's a lot of baskets, right? And we still have one more way I'm going to show you to use the baskets tonight on the last card. And the last card's very fallish too. And more coloring. All right, so we're going to put this kind of at the bottom here, right like that. We're going to put our hearts behind it, also popped up. Okay. And those look really cute behind there, right? And this time we have that same little scarf that was cut out. Excuse me. This side, instead of the plaid side, we're using the polka dot side. And this one, you can really see how it did the embossing on the back of it. So we'll go ahead and use some seal and put that scarf on. I just love these little scarves on the basket. I think they're so cute. And then again, we have our little silver handle. On the last card, we're not going to use the scarf for the handle. So that's going to go right across there. Okay, hold that down for a second. This one, I'm just going to use a single bow with the linen thread. So let me take a little bit of that, and we'll tie the bow. Make it a little bit tighter. And get a glue dot to adhere that. I'm kind of throwing my stuff all over the place when I'm done with it, and then I'm trying to find it, and I can't see where I put it. Okay, there's our bow with the linen thread. Now, at the bottom, I cut out a whole bunch of these little hearts. And let me show you what I did. I took a little scrap of this DSP with the red and the pink, and I just took the little heart die, and it cuts out 4 at once, and I just cut them out this way. You can see how it cuts out of the paper like that. So we have kind of 2 colors on each of these hearts, right? So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue. I'm going to put the 4 hearts at the bottom of the basket. So I'm just putting some dots of glue there. And then I'm going to flip these over and try picking them up with my Take Your Pick tool. So one there. One like that. Whoops. See if I can get them lined up straight across the bottom. I cut up a whole bunch of extra hearts because I feel like I always lose little pieces and can't find them. And I'll use them for something else for sure. So we've got our little hearts across the bottom. I think that looks really cute. Then we can pop this up to the card base that we've already started. And we'll use dimensionals for that. And we'll put this right in the middle. Last thing we want to do is get our whoops, hold on. Upside down. You got to flip that over. Okay. Whew. Silly, right? I did not pay attention to the way the card was opening. So it's going to open like this, just like that. Okay. Sentiment we're going to stamp again in the real red. And I have another banner die that I cut out from this set right here, which is Stylish Shapes dies. And I love these pre-cut banners. They're so easy to use. They have stitching around the edges, so they're perfect. And we're using the You Fill My Day with Happiness. So we'll get that inked up. I'm going to stamp it all the way to the right on the banner. And then I'm just going to cut off the edge because I want a straight edge over here. So I will just cut this across, hopefully straight. And I'm just going to put a dimensional on the one side, closest to the edge, and use a little seal on the rest of it. Okay, last card. We're going to go for this nice fall card right here. And I just wanted to show you another way to use this set, aside from what we've already done. So give me 1 second to put some of my toys away. I'm making a big mess over here. Okay, so what I've added for this set is Again, we're going to use that Hello, and it's from the Hello Harvest stamp set. And we're going to use this stamp with the sunflowers and this one little sunflower right here. We're going to do some fall cards. I've already made some fall cards with this and this pumpkin and these leaves that are really fun. Makes for great fall cards. So let's get started on this card. Here are our pieces, and we're going to start with a crumb cake card base and our usual 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I just have this little piece for the inside. Okay, so that's our card base. Same DSP as we've used before, that we're going to add, and it's got like a saffron kind of plaid to it. And we will just adhere this right to the edge right here. We're going to use the linen thread again, and I'm going to do the same thing that we did before and wrap it around a few times of our card. I'm going to go 3 times, and then we'll tie it up here. This linen thread is great. It's so easy to use. It's so versatile. It's so fallish to me. And I'm going to move all this over a little bit this way. And let me move it a little bit this way. Okay, let me tighten that up. Okay, and if I can pull that through, we'll have our bow. I'm really struggling with my nails tonight. Let's try that again. Okay, and we'll tighten it up a little bit. Okay, that looks pretty good. And I think the bow's in a good place. We'll keep it right about there. Okay, so for the next layer, I used the Deckled Rectangles dies, which is another nice basic set. And I cut out 2 rectangles, one in Mossy Meadow, the other one in So Saffron. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere those. Before I do that, I'm going to stamp my sentiment, and we're going to use the Hello again in Mossy Meadow because I'm going to stamp it right onto that deckled rectangle that we have. So this is Mossy Meadow, and let me get my chamois because I've already used the Hello. I need to get the ink off of it. Okay. All right. I think I'm on the verge of an avalanche to my right. Bunch of supplies I keep piling up over there. And we're going to put this kind of to the top and to the right. And that's the Hello again. You could use any sentiment that you want for that. And we can go ahead and adhere these down. Then we're going to do some more stamping and coloring. So we'll put that just about in the middle right there. And we're just going to lay this one flat on top of it. Okay, so we have kind of our good base of the card started. Now we're going to do some stamping and die cutting. So I was going to show you another way to do the basket. We're going to use the basket die again. And this time I'm going to stamp it in early espresso, kind of a dark brown. And I'm going to stamp it on colored cardstock this time. I'm going to stamp it right on the card stock, the crumb cake. So we're not going to color it or anything. We're just going to leave it just like that. So that's another way that you can do the basket. And I'm not sure. Let me see if I pre-cut one of those out. I did not. So we will go ahead and take a second and die cut that out. Let me pull my little machine up again. And we'll die cut the basket. Okay. Sorry, this class is taking a little bit longer tonight because of all our coloring and everything. All right, let's get our die and put that down here. And again, I'm going to use just a tiny bit of Post-it tape to hold it in place. And we will run this through. Okay. So that's another way to do the basket, right? Nice and easy. Okay, next we're going to do some stamping. And this time from that set that I just showed you, we're going to stamp the flowers. Okay, and we're going to do those in Memento because we're going to color those. I had to do double duty on my blocks because I ran out of blocks. There were so many stamps tonight. And let's also do the single sunflower that we're going to put at the bottom. Good. Excuse me. Okay, so the coloring for this one, I'm going to start with the flowers, and I'm using the So Saffron, so I have the light and the dark. So, and this coloring goes really fast for these flowers. So I'm just going to color the insides with the dark So Saffron. You can see just kind of where it would be darker in the middle of these flowers on the actual petals of the flowers. And then there's a couple little buds I'm going to do in the dark also. One here and one here that I'm doing in the dark. Then I'm going to take my light and just kind of do the rest of the flower and blend the dark in. So this color isn't very dark. It's pretty subtle yellow color. So you can't see the blending that well. And that's it for the petals. Let's go ahead and do the same thing for the single sunflower over here. And I don't have to worry too much about being in the lines towards the middle because we're going to use a different color in the middle that's going to cover any of that up. Okay, so that's it for the flower. All right, next I took a little bit of Mossy Meadow, and this is the light Mossy Meadow, and that's what we're going to do all the leaves in. Now the leaves, these are very, very tiny, so I'm using the tip, and I have to be really careful with the coloring because the leaves are so small, and I don't know if you can see because I know my hand's getting in the way. But this stamp is really, really pretty. I think it comes out beautiful when it's finished and when it's colored. I think there's another little leaf hiding right in here. Look how tiny, teensy beansy these little leaves are over here. It's almost impossible for me not to go out of the lines, but I'm trying to stay in with the little tip. Okay, so those are the leaves. There's a couple more bigger leaves over here. Okay, and then the last color we're going to use is light Cajun Craze. Did I miss any leaves? Oh, I missed one right here. Okay, I think that's all of them. Okay, so let me get the light Cajun Craze, and we're going to do the middle of the flowers, the sunflowers, like this. And again, not being too careful, just kind of going in the middle. Then these little puffy ones, I'm just going to dab the inside of these little ones right here. And I think these are really pretty. And see how pretty that is when it's finished? I think that looks just lovely. I love the fall colors. There is also a die for this to cut this out that goes with that set. So this gets just lined up like this and cut out through the die cutting machine. Same thing with this little small flower, gets lined up like that. And I did go ahead and cut those out for us already to make things a little bit easier. So let's go ahead and assemble. And let me get out my dimensionals again because we like everything popped up, right? So we'll start with our basket. Which basket do you like the best of the three? I think I like the first one the best that's colored because it looks a little bit more realistic to me, but I like this one too. Ugh, can't get, hold on. There we go. And this one I put just a little bit to the side, like right about there. Okay. Then I'm going to put some dimensionals towards the top of the flowers here. And then I'm going to just put a little bit of seal on the bottom so the front part that hangs over gets stuck down. And I think the flowers in the basket look really pretty. Right about there, I think. Looks good. And then I'm going to take a dimensional and put another little flower at the bottom. And I'll put that right about there. I think that looks good. And then we're going to add some rhinestones to make it look even prettier. These are the champagne rhinestone basic jewels, and I'll probably be using a lot of these in the fall because they're just such a beautiful fall color. So we'll do a medium one and a couple of small ones. And I think that's it. So we have a cute little fall card, which I think is really nice with that same set that we used. So let me bring everything back that we've used. Let me just clean up just a little bit because I've made a mess. So these are the cards that we made tonight. We made the cute little hello one with the kitty. Then we made our chalkboard autumn wishes back to school card. We did you fill my days with happiness with the hearts. And then lastly, we did our hello card, our nice fall hello card. I hope you like the cards that we made tonight. Again, thank you for watching. If you would like the project and measurement sheet, you can email me, and that's at Sunshine and Sparkles Stamping at gmail.com, and I will send you the project measurement and supply sheet that has all the products that we used, all the measurements for everything. I can send that to you in the email. A reminder, spooky treats, this just started this week for the next paper pumpkin. It's going to be Halloween themed, and it's doing treat boxes, so 18 treat boxes, 6 of 3 designs. So if you're interested in paper pumpkin, you can join Paper Pumpkin. That's a really fun kit to get. I want to show you what I have coming up for next week. And next week we're going to be using this set, which is Perched in a Tree. And right now with Celebration, you can get the dies that go along with that. And these are really nice dies that go along with this. I got these for free with a $100 purchase. So these go together, and these are going to be the cards that we're making for next week. We've got this pretty one with the paper. We've used this bird paper before. We're going to do a Christmas one with the same birds and some Christmassy paper. This one in more 4 colors, your fall colors, Your Kindness Warms My Heart. And then we're going to do this nice little treat box. I've got some cinnamon rolls in here with just the leaves and not the bird. So fun projects for next week. I hope you can join me next week. And again, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next week. Thank you. Bye-bye.